Yeah, good. This is our fourth class of MySQL. Okay, so if you are in between, so you want to see my previous classes actually. So here we'll discuss in detail about MySQL actually. So what we'll do here is, so we were actually trying to go through this document. Actually this document is really good. I'd recommend to, and I'll hand it out. This is that handout for you. And of course this you cannot copy and paste and run the SQL, but we will do what we can. We can see how this thing works out for our table. Alright, so fourth class, I think this will be very small because fourth class will be very small. So fourth class is about backticks. I'm not sure what's this they came up with backticks, but it's actually group by statements. Okay, you are using these functions, average functions and group by things. Okay, average. Remember we used in the previous classes we used this calculation. Although we don't require any table for that to do the calculation, and I have my own calculator, I don't need this SQL to do my calculation, but yet still we have this calculator in SQL, so that in any SQL, not in MySQL, not in your SQL, not in anyone's SQL, it's supposed to have that that calculator inbuilt calculation, so that you could use that. So that's the reason you have this function called average. AVG stands for average. This is a function. Now what we'll do here is we will try to execute these functions. Backticks. That's strange. These people have put this backticks. I would say this group by function. Group by eliminates this duplicates. One of the best thing of the group by is duplicates are eliminated completely. So that's the useful of group by actually. Group by, right? You group with sets. Set 1, set 2, set 3. Okay, so that's what it means by group by. Alright. Now what we'll do here is, since we have access, remember I'll give you access for this. So since you have access, I hope it works. Is it working already? I didn't test this. Oh good, it's working. Wow, it's fascinating. The problem is, when I'm practicing myself, it works very good, and the moment I record it, suddenly it doesn't work. I don't know, it's kind of supernatural thing. Okay, right, now let's go to our database. We have two databases, not to worry about it. Go to SQL, and we will do here this, we will use this query. Okay, now we will just copy and paste. No, we are not going to copy and paste. We are trying to understand this query. See, the problem is okay, now here we don't have that table. We only have this two table, car and my table, what we have created, right? So this query doesn't work. Okay, if I use this query, doesn't work, and even if it works, doesn't show any cards. Alright, but what we'll try to do is I'm still not sure what are the columns. You know what, I'm really not good on this. So let's start from car, and yeah, and I'll go ahead and click on see the data. What is data here? So you have this car ID, name and price. Now that's okay. So here what we want to do here is this query we are trying to do is group by, and we're trying to average this. All right, now this is so good. Now this is a good thing. Here what we'll try to do here, we will just try to use this query based on this regard and try to create our own. See, this is very simple. Okay, in real time it's not that simple. Okay, understand that this is what we are trying to do here is a joke, but when you are doing in corporate level, this code goes up to 200 300 lines of code. Now, okay, so this is only for your understanding, for your understanding of this SQL. So alright, so here what we'll do here is select student name. There is no student name, so what we do here is what we have this thing. Guess what, we'll just put name and average of price. We have this since we have this number, so we are lucky on this. I hope this works. Okay, from its table name, group by. So here the problem is whatever you're doing in the select, the same thing should be here. Okay, we are not worried about that codes actually. It should supposed to work without codes. I hope we have access for this. We didn't have access to nested subquery, remember? So we were not able to do that. So that will be homework for you. Alright, so okay, what we are trying to do here is we are trying to average the price. So all the 4, so it adds up and divides by 4. Okay, it adds up 2000 plus 20,000 plus 15,000 plus 40,000 plus 40,000 by 4. So whatever the value is, I don't have to worry, it's supposed to do that for us. Okay, and it groups up with the name. Okay, it groups up with the name. That means it is set. It's kind of duplicate, right? It's supposed, so it will show you 2 records basically. Let's see, let's find out. Oh no, we don't know what happened. I hope this works. No access issue, hopefully. Let's wow, that was a miracle. It worked really. I told you, right? This worked as now AVG price. Now I don't want this AVG price. I want as guess what? I'll use yes. I can use anything. I'll use this AVE RAG. No, it looks good now, right? So what remember this as we are using an aliasing here. All right, now let's execute again. Let's see what's happening. All right, so here you see this name RD1. So group by, remember, it eliminated this duplicate. So you have this 2A1 and it got into only A1. It added up and I guess it did by 2. So you can do your math. All right, so we are not in a mathematics class, so I'm not trying to do this. So but what it does is average, average, right? It's kind of, see, there is average, there is a mean, there is mode, and there is a median. All these are actually will be used here, but do we also have mean? Yeah, no, mean is not that. So supposed to be there. Actually, we can do all mathematical operations in SQL too. So this is what it means by group by. Group by means you are grouping by sets. Okay, and what we are using here, we are using the function called average function. Okay, average, total number of records divided by, total number of numbers. You have 20,000, 15,000, 30,000, remember 40,000. All the numbers divided by numbers, by 2 or by 4. However, I think it took by 4. But it eliminated the duplicate since that A1 A2 we have this 2, right? This, because of this group by statement, this is very useful because it eliminates the duplicates here. So this very useful query. Luckily it worked for us. What we'll do here is we'll just copy and paste, and you can use that. I'll save this in the lecture 4, since it's lecture 4, and this will be our group by. Group by with average functions. Okay, remember that. SQL. So I'm saving this with SQL. Alright. Now what happens is, here we didn't use very much complex here. Here you can use having clause okay, you use where class here, okay, from car where, if you want the particular ID name, you can put this ID, car ID and stuff like that. And whenever you're using group by, you want to use, after that also you can sort it out, okay, using having class. So whenever you're using having class, that means I hope it works in this, right? Does it work? In Oracle it works. In Oracle, group by, you have this having class, and you cannot use having class in the select statement. In select statement you have to use where class. Group by class, if somebody says where are you using having class, that's what you remember group by, okay. The moment somebody says, okay, I want to use having class, that means they are using group by statement. Let's say somebody says like, I want to use where class, that's it, that means they are using the select and they want to use some particular column name or particular row they are looking for, okay. So that's about group by statement. Now this guy is don't work unless alright, so that's pretty much about this fourth class, okay. And we'll fifth class, so we'll come back, okay. So this is pretty short, but you have this SQL, and go ahead and you can practice it, and you can also do some your research, try to average it, what is trying to do. You can do your own R&D work here. See, I was just trying to do my own R&D work here. So what happens is, I use this group by and used many columns, and you cannot use many columns actually, but still I made it. And I asked a guy who is pro in SQL, I said, how can we use this group by, and I also use many columns to get from a different table, on a different table, join. So I want to use join, and still I want to use group by, and that way said not possible. You're talking about impossible. And I just I have written that query and sent it back to him. He said, this causes performance issue, improve your query. And that's how it works. So you can do your own research, you can do group by. It looks simple, but it's does a lot more than it is to learn on that. So I would say you can go ahead and this is one of the function, average function. That's what they use here, only average functions, okay. So you're grouping by sets, okay. You can group by any, here I group by the name because I know that name. You can group by with any other any other set, okay, whatever column name you want to. But remember, then whatever you use here, it's supposed to be here, otherwise it will throw an error. Let's try this. So car ID, I want to have this car ID, doesn't work here. Let's find out. It will throw an error simply. It worked, but then group by didn't work actually, because here the point of group by is to eliminate duplicates, it did, but it's not appropriate way of doing it, because whatever the I would not use this kind of thing. But yeah, if you require really, say this is kind of R&D work, right? If you want to do it, but I don't do that, because whatever the select you're using, that should be in the group by, because that's what you are trying to grouping by set, okay. So that's pretty much about fourth class. See you in the next class, fifth chapter, okay. So I'll be putting this handout, okay. Thanks.